Welcome, welcome, welcome to the TSDitto reaction channel. Thank you for joining me. Today is really going to be a good one. So stick with me to the end and remember to hit that like, subscribe, and notifications button. Leave me a comment and I will definitely reply. Let's get into the video.
Versace, stole it from Africa. The Washington Monument, stole it from Africa. They even stole some of us from Africa. All of y'all wealth, stole it from Africa. Statue of Liberty, stole it from Africa. Jesus, stole it from Africa. Everything we made, niggas is jack. American Eagle, stole it from Africa. Queen Elizabeth Gold, stole it from Africa. Lincoln statue, stole it from Africa. It was made in China, but stole it from Africa. The medical symbol, stole it from Africa. Jesus story, stole it from Africa. The cross, stole it from Africa. The light bulb, stole it from Africa. The Pope even know that it started with Africa. It starts with an Anthony Joseph or Tabitha. Oscar Award, stole it from Africa. Mount Rushmore, stole it from Africa. I even think that it used to be Africans. Medusa, she was also an African. Comment if y'all want part 2 of some more shit. These niggas stole it from Africa.
I don't know why we never talked about it. It's called the 411 cases.
No, I never heard of it.
You never heard of it? So there was supposedly a bunch of people that went missing in a certain forest and like mountain. They say that never go into a forest, like a big field without a satellite phone. And that's where all these people messed up at, because it's like this specific like area that they all tried to climb at led them in different ways. It was like the map was changing while they were.
Oh, it was one of those locations, Bermuda Triangle, where
type thing.
they just messes up their GPS. Before continuing, I wanted to warn you guys. Their phones were being spied on. Click on this icon, then on more. If you see it, delete it immediately.
Yes, and then so one of the main guys was called Aaron Hedges.
Yeah.
So this guy was like,
I heard that name before.
yes. So
familiar.
very popular. So this guy knew I think he was elk hunting in Montana. So on the Montana mountains, he knew the area so well that he didn't need a map. Like he was so confident, right? So him and his 2 boys went camping, and then he even set up like checkpoints where he would have like have food. He would have like sleeping bags. 2 days went by, everything was blessed. The 3rd day though, they had walkie-talkies, and he was like, yo, I'm gonna go to one of the checkpoints and go get the food, right? So like, okay, just call me if you ever need help. Aaron goes, mind you, this guy's professional at this map. Yo, he goes and he's like, yo, I'm gonna go north. On the walkie-talkie they have coordinates. The guy said he was going north. On the walkie-talkie, he went the opposite way.
Yeah.
And then bro, his friend tried to go look at and find him. Then the guy's boots, cigarettes was all that's left, and his body was gone.
That this was $57.23 worth of groceries in 1993.
Take a brief pause on that. Stolen from Africa. Speaks for itself. Black History Month, we learn about all of the inventions. We go to work every day, and everything that we do, somebody else takes credit. Let's jump to the forest. Stay out of the forest. GPS doesn't work there. I can't make sense out of a compass, can you? The prices of food. I mean, the refrigerator was full. Now with that amount of money that would have been in that refrigerator right there, my husband would come home with 2 loaves of bread, 2 frozen pizzas, and a bag of grapefruits. I'm just saying. Back to the video. All of this for cheese. They must really love cheese. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Enjoy your culture. I'm not doing it.
China is nearing the completion of the highest suspension bridge in the world, and this thing is insane. It stands 9 times higher than the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco at a staggering 2,050 feet. That is over twice the height of the Eiffel Tower, and it's almost a mile long. This means that it will also surpass the length of the UK's Hammer Bridge, which held the record for the longest suspension bridge for 17 years. But the craziest thing is that to build this, they essentially had to drill a skyscraper-sized tower to the side of a cliff. Not the bottom, the side. And they still said that that would be able to hold a multi-lane highway on it. And because of this, they literally had to create custom construction platforms where workers had to operate cranes while suspended thousands of feet in the air. Construction of this thing began in 2022, and they say that it'll be fully operational this year.
What does a dead body smell like? Imagine leaving a raw piece of chicken on a radiator for about 4 hours. That horrible, gone off Is it
smell.
warm in there?
What, in the mortuary? No, it's freezing.
Oh, okay.
But that, you know, when chicken goes off and you go, oh, that smell. That's the only thing I can liken it to.
The only time I've ever seen dead bodies when my nan passed away, and they kept the body in the living room for hours. I think she started like farting.
Yeah, release another gas. Yeah.
Like,
Does it sound like a fart or like
Yeah. More a bit like a bubbly sound to it. I'm trying to be professional there, but yeah, they can let them go. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you can smell the chicken in the refrigerator, you probably need to throw it out. Therefore, if the body is laying out, and yes, it is going to be frozen, you know, don't wait too long. Just, you know, they're gone. Put them in a safe place and let them rest. Yeah, farts. Cheese. Yeah, no. Yeah, okay, moving on. Destruction of something beautiful. I hope this melody isn't copywritten. Some things shouldn't be destroyed. Especially if they can't be replaced.
Y'all, what if deja vu is just from you merging timelines? Just hear me out. What if deja vu isn't a memory, but a symptom you get when you merge timelines? And what if when you merged into enough timelines, you got what they call a God consciousness? I'm getting there. A lot of ancient texts describe gods as higher level conscious beings, but that can also be a human that evolved to a higher level of consciousness. It's been said that there are monks that are able to put themselves into a meditative state that changes them into light beings. You heard me. Into light beings. So who's to say that these gods that were talked about in these ancient texts weren't just humans that mastered thoughts, reality, and the timeline? What if they did so by merging with various versions of themselves that had already succeeded? And what if it wasn't just with human consciousness, but also with animal consciousness? Again, let's think about Marvel movies when they show the different variants. They're not always all human. You know, kind of how they say we can do with quantum physics? Merging timelines that have already succeeded in these traits that we want to possess. And when we do so, not only do we merge with their consciousness, but we merge with their timeline. In doing so, this creates a deja vu effect, showing that we're now one. And the only symptom that we have is the Mandela effect. And every time you quantum jump, you evolve. In TikTok, this is purely for entertainment purposes. But make sure to like and comment and let me know what you think.
Earthquakes. How do they start? The ground beneath us is constantly shifting. These movements are usually so slight we don't feel them, until an earthquake strikes. Earthquakes begin deep underground. They're triggered when energy stored in the Earth's crust is suddenly released. This energy travels in waves, shooting out from the epicenter. It's these waves we feel as shaking and trembling. Some earthquakes are minor, barely noticed. Others are powerful, causing widespread destruction and loss. Understanding earthquakes, their causes and effects can help us prepare and respond. Knowledge is our best defense against these natural disasters.
Take a little quick pause there. Earthquakes. Yeah. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. We live on the New Madrid fault line. There are small tremors that happen, I guess, regularly, and they're small, so we don't really notice them. We find out probably from Alexa the next day or something, a little blip might be on the news. I don't trust the news, the local news especially. However, I remember in about 2010, maybe 2009, there was a kind of repetitive small earthquakes, a little bigger than a tremor, and I was working at this job, and for some strange reason, I asked, can we leave? And the little guy with a big ego said no. Next time I'm not going to ask. We were on the second floor, and, you know, sometimes it just I don't need your permission. If I don't feel safe, I'm walking out the door. So follow your own gut. Try and get under a walkway, not a walkway, a doorway, or archway or something. If you are on a ground level, take the stairs and, do some Google searches or ask AI a question or two every once in a while. This world is unpredictable and they are manipulating everything about this earth. So they got plans for you. Make a plan for yourself. Okay, moving on.
Lighting Green Street. Where's all the fucking wash around the fucking... Where is it?
There's nothing there because it's fake.
I've been in the water all my life, mate, right? That's a load of shit. They're running this one hard, mate. For all you fucking dumb cunts.
Imagine going to see the Final Destination and you almost lived it in real life. I need y'all to put this into perspective. Say you go to the movie theater, you excited to watch Final Destination. You go a little earlier because you're so excited. You get your popcorn, you get your drink and some other snacks. You walk into the theater, you sit in the seat that you picked out, y'all. You watch the trailers, and then the lights dim because the movie about to start. So you take a sip of your drink, eat your popcorn, and then minutes into the film, the ceiling over top of you collapsed. That's what happened to this 29-year-old who went to go see the movie that was in Argentina. This lady name was Fiamma Filaverdi. So when the incident happened, she was rushed to the hospital because her back and her ankle was fucked up. And get this, y'all. They said it was 40 other people in that movie theater, and she the only one that got injured. Sometimes movies ain't just movies, y'all. You gotta understand and you gotta be aware of your surroundings. Every time I walk into a theater, I always look up, down, left, right.
But I will say too, I don't think it's a good idea to investigate your own home.
Investigate the movie theater. I can't wait to see Final Destination. It is probably the only scary movie that I have seen all of the series of. I'm really excited about it. So yes. Argentina, I don't know, they have old buildings or something. She probably should have looked up. But take your own popcorn, carry a big bag, bring in some soda, and your own Twizzlers and your own Red Hots, Jujubes, whatever you call them. Don't go to the dollar store before you go to the movie theater because them $50 price tags at the movie theater, it's not really worth it. Enjoy the show.
Oh,
Like,
no.
I don't invite it. No, I don't.
No.
I don't turn on any of my equipment at my
Okay,
house.
so with that being said, would you recommend someone else coming in to investigate?
I mean, if you're at a level where you need that validation, or if it's getting so bad it is, but you need some help, then for sure. But if it's mild and you don't want it to get worse, you don't want it to, I would just it's kind of like, I don't know, if you've ever dealt with a bully like in high school, stuff like that.
Sometimes you just gotta swing.
Yeah, either that, or sometimes like they do it for the attention, they do it for the thrill.
Right.
So like once you kind of like, I grew up with two older brothers, and there was a time they would love to pick on me and like hold me down and do like a little spit thing and then select it back and like things like that, like just these weird torture things. And I remember the day I got to a point where I kind of was just like, I don't care, go ahead, just do it. And then they never did it again.
If you're having trouble sleeping at night, just think about the fact that as we speak, there are human-sized bats alive somewhere in the world, and there is nothing you can do about it. If you're 5'7", congrats, you just barely missed out on being shorter than this bat. Well, only technically, because a giant golden-crowned flying fox can have a wingspan of usually about 5 feet, but the biggest ones can have a wingspan of 67 inches. That's a whole lot of bat. And some flying foxes are diurnal, meaning you could actually run into this thing in broad daylight. But lucky for you, giant bats, mega bats if you will, like a flying fox, are only found in the Philippines, and Australia, and Southeast Asia, and Africa. And the flying fox got its name because as a fox in the face, it cosplays as a canine on Red Bull. Be grateful because this is the hammerhead bat. It's not as big, but it's nowhere near as aesthetically gifted. Imagine that outside your window. Now if it makes you feel any better, nature's sentient baby-faced kite eats nothing but fruit and nectar. The vegan sky puppy is not only completely harmless, like all bats, they boost the global economy through the process of pollination. Fun fact, if Thanos had beef with bats, that snap would mean no chocolate, no bananas, no tequila, and for that reason, a lot of y'all would be Nemo. The Latin version. Also, as the world's only flying mammal, every day is Take Your Kids to Work Day, and they'll carry the literal next generation for up to 6 weeks. So rest assured, the only thing this anime-eyed pterodactyl finna tear up are some bananas, the more you know.
I ain't messing with no bats. First off, the one bat looked like a camel. They called it a hammerhead, but it looked like a camel to me, I don't know. And I ain't messing with no ghosts. But I ain't afraid no ghost. Well, I don't want to say that out loud. I'm gonna leave the ghosts alone. I know they're real. I've seen one in real, straight up life. Stay over there. Just stay over there. And wherever you are, stay over there. I don't want you over here. I've seen some things. You stay where you are. I ain't messing with you. Don't mess with me. I believe in the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Amen.
A global blackout is coming. No warning, no explanation, just gone. And it's not a glitch. It's the plan. They call it the digital blackout prophecy, a complete purge of the global digital infrastructure. Imagine waking up and your bank account reads zero, your crypto untraceable, even your social media wiped clean. Just last week, Spain went dark, entire cities without power. No one knows what caused it or how it was fixed. Was it a glitch or was it a test? Experts whisper about a global recalibration, a digital cleanse. Was Spain just the warm-up for something bigger? No power means no payments. No payments mean empty shelves. Imagine fighting for food, water, medicine. Your money? Worthless if it's only digital. Banks would be locked. ATMs would be dead. Everything you own trapped behind a screen you can't access. No communication. Phones, silent, internet, dead. How would you find your family? How would you even know what's happening? You wouldn't. They say we're safer than ever. But if everything shut off tomorrow, would you survive? Would you even know what to do? Spain's blackout was just a whisper. The next one, you might not even see it coming. It's already started. Don't forget to follow for more content. Thank you.
Okay, let's touch this. Are you prepared? I personally, when I get this urge that something's happening, and let's be in on this conspiracy theory side of reality, just thinking outside of the box. I'm going to try and collect gallons of water. Collecting bottles of water is not helping because I'm gonna drink one every 5 minutes or put some Crystal Light in it or something. So I do have a charged kind of walkie-talkie kind of radio thing, an old-fashioned radio that you have to satellite connect to somehow. I don't know. I do have some battery charging bricks, and I guess we could just use that for it's got a flashlight on it, you know. Little things. I mean, just start preparing for the unknown, because we can't say what they're going to do to us. We can't say with all this technical, way of living that when all of that's going to go kaputs on us and we're just left in the dark. We don't know. In 2006, we had the major power outage here in St. Louis, and it was horrible. It was horrible. But back then, we didn't rely on technology as much as we do now. That's almost 20 years ago. So it would be a whole lot worse. So prepare with whatever little things you can. Dollar store water is good water to me. I'm just saying.
Between gas prices in Nevada and California, that is Nevada per gallon. I cleaned up and drove over to California, which is about 20 miles to cross the border, and here you go. And gas prices here are $6.49. So a difference of $2.50 a gallon. $6.49. I'm getting gas here, but to fill up my truck, the difference in 20 miles is $40 every fill up.
A first look at the Italian businessman and alleged kidnapping victim running barefoot and flagging an officer for help, an exclusive video obtained by WNBC. The unidentified victim, appearing to carry a bag and another item, escaped this luxury New York City townhouse where prosecutors say he was electrocuted, pistol whipped, and held captive for weeks in a shocking scheme to steal his Bitcoin.
Crazy.
Rapper Young Thug just called Kid Cudi a rat for testifying against Diddy, and I'm going to explain to you why he's entirely wrong. First off, there's no such thing as snitching on a sex offender. Yes, maybe you play by a different set of rules, but the way the convict code started was no women, no children, no snitching. Anybody who's hurting women and children are not covered by that convict code. Secondly, I'd like to point out that the rules only apply to people who are actually playing the game, and I don't think Kid Cudi has ever tried to front like he is, man. This dude has law-abiding citizen written all over him. Just objectively, if you look at this dude and you expect him to uphold some type of criminal convict code, that's you being stupid. Law-abiding citizens do law-abiding citizen shit, man, and that means talking to the police and testifying if necessary. Young Thug, my guy, you are on a serious suspended sentence, and part of your stipulations is that you would not promote gang lifestyle or criminality anywhere online. So what are you doing? Justin believe that your socials are being monitored and they would love to see you fail, homie. You should just sit this one all the way out.
So, you know Katy Perry accidentally killed a nun?
What the fuck?
Yeah,
How?
in 2015. There was like 2 nuns that stayed in a church. So that church was like, they were doing like masses in there. But once they left, only 2 stayed. So Katy Perry, she's like, oh, I actually want to buy this real estate. Like, I'll give you hella money for this. It was a crazy number. I think it was like 14 mil.
Before continuing, I wanted to warn you guys. Their phones were being spied on. Click on this icon and on more. If you see it, delete it immediately.
The nuns were like, nah, this is holy, like, we're not gonna give it to you. So boom, she goes there herself. I think it's in LA, one of the churches in LA. She's like, yo, look, I have a tattoo of Jesus. Let me sing you a couple songs trying to convince you to sell it. Nuns are like, nah. The nuns even tried to go to millionaires to sell it for even more, like 20 million, right? Katy Perry was pissed. She went to like the head of the Catholic Church and snitched on the nuns. So they're like, oh, they're not selling me it, but technically they actually don't own this property because it's the masses, right? So boom, they go into a crazy legal battle in church, and then during that court case, one of the nuns got so stressed, just dropped dead. Damn.
A so-called famous slave house in Louisiana just burned to the ground. Black people, should we be celebrating this? Since this plantation burned to the ground, maybe some of our ancestors can be free. If you don't know anything about magic, just know this. Your trauma, your pain can trap you to a certain location. So every black person that lived on this plantation, guess what? Their spirits still live there. And the people that control this world, they mock us all the time. Look at this nickel. Plantation. I even seen some videos that was showing spirits actually leaving the house when it was burning. When I first heard about this story, I started doing research about the plantation. And you know what movie came to my mind? Remember the movie Tales from the Hood? Where they showed our ancestors trapped inside of dolls? If you want to know the truth, just watch certain movies. They have no choice but to tell you everything. So I guess you can say that this is a victory for all these trapped spirits. It's funny how our ancestors built this country, but yet we are still treated like shit. They had them picking cotton all day, every day. So I guess it's no more picking cotton, right? Well, this story is about to get a little deep. Stay with me. They make us go to work all day just to get this. But did you know that this is not even paper? Yes, money is not made out of paper. Money is 25% linen, 75% cotton. Let me repeat that. 25% linen, 75% cotton. So it wasn't just our ancestors picking cotton, because every time we go to work for money, we are still picking cotton. I mean, it is 75%, right? Federal Reserve notes are a blend of 25% linen and 75% cotton. It's not paper. Money don't grow on trees, it grows on plants. I'm really happy that this burned down because some of our ancestors can be free. But just remember, slavery never ended. They just rebranded, remodeled that shit. Slavery still exists. And you know what else is really weird? All this shit started taking place when an Annabelle doll passed Louisiana. If you've never seen the movie Tales from the Hood, please go check it out. If you have a nickel in your pocket right now, turn your nickel around and you will see another plantation. I'm gonna tell you what should happen, but it's probably not gonna happen. They need to burn every plantation that ever had slaves.
Slaves. Everyone's asking you.
Let it burn. Let it burn.
If 100 men could beat a gorilla, but no one's asking how. I'm gonna break it down. In a fight where the loser wins a meet and greet with Mufasa, it's all about attacking the weak points. And a gorilla's weak points are the same as ours. Eyes, throat, mouth, and for measure, the jewels of the South. Someone would have to gouge the gorilla's eyes out, and someone else would have to put him on an oxygen diet, either by bear hugging his windpipe or by shoving their arm down his throat. And since you're already negotiating your arm, you'd have to pull the gorilla's tongue out. I call that the leopard method. Because a 73-year-old Tarzan the whole leopard by tearing out the leopard's liquor. Now let's be clear, gorillas got more jaw work than a grizzly, efficiently and could break a bowling ball. Those first 10 or so men are seeing Tupac live. 100 men could game over a gorilla, but 100 wouldn't survive. Also, someone would have to be the one to make the chimpanzee play and tear the gorilla's nuts off. Hey, this is war, which means you gotta go at the gorilla's weaknesses. Endurance, being outnumbered, and the fact that their fighting style is mostly grappling and biting. Not so great for soloing an army. Also, gorillas have a thought process. Seeing 100 men run over the hill would have him ready to run, not run and fade. It would turn to the gorilla playing defense real quick, and the main thing would be to have enough bodies to rotate in and out until the big man's heart eventually retires. Now, you might argue, seeing men get their heads divorced from their body and faces foreign to the rest would make the rest of the men fold. But there's a catch. The tweet said, dedicated to that ish. If men can watch each other get blown up in a war, then 100 should be willing to die about a gorilla. So long story short, 100 men would win, but for the first few, no matter the method nor the facet, their only outcome is a closed casket. The more you know. I think you got.
He needs to be the one in the front if he got all that to say. My husband and my son, please, don't play that game. I don't want you to. If you do everything don't do it. Don't think, just don't do it. Please, hear me. Don't do it. All of y'all, don't do it.
About to give y'all the best content ideas with Google AI. Veo 3. Can somebody put in a prompt showing how the mud flood was reenacted, please? Can someone show that with the proper prompts, proper description? Show how they liquefied the mud with frequency and vibration. That's one. Here's another Google prompt, Veo, you could use. Show how they deconstructed all the bells and filled in all the windows of all the cathodes to stop all the healing properties of the bells. And visual description. That's two great content ideas someone out there with AI would do to go viral. I'm surprised I haven't seen a conspiracy theory video of it yet. You know, think about every conspiratorially minded ideal out there and show it in real world form through Google Veo 3. Maybe the same AI that's used to entrap people can be the same AI that'll wake motherfuckers up to reality. Firmament, the moon landing being fake, whatever you want. Y'all could be exposing shit with AI. And y'all haven't thought of this yet? Y'all gonna make me do it. Peace to the gods. The orphan trains. Another one. Incubator babies. The world fairs. I mean, have fun with it. Showing all that. Wake up.
Here's an interesting one. Oprah.
Narc. I'll take it a step further with Oprah. I think she's a psychopath.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. Oprah's dangerous because Oprah and Tyler, because they've spent most of their lives with all this black support.
Yes.
And now that they're filthy rich and they're at this point, this high point, they done switched up.
Oh yeah.
And now we're starting to see the toxic stuff come out, and it's like, hold up, I've been supporting you all these years, and this is who you really are.
Listen, once she
blindsided.
Once she put out the MJ doc, I was done with her.
Yeah, no, yeah. She's something else, and a lot of female narcissists are closeted lesbians.
Okay.
So if you look at the celebrity world, there's a lot of women that are married, but they're screwing women. And it works for the husband, because the husband's in control of the money.
Right.
She's a celebrity, she's bringing in money. Oh, I don't want to say no names. We got
Don't
this.
say no names.
No, I'm not going to say no names. I'll tell you after we finish rolling, and I'm going to blow your mind.
Okay.
Stuff. My discernment, the way I read people is off the hook, but I'm going to throw stuff at you, and you're going to be, I'm telling you, when you start looking, you're not going to be able to unsee it.
Oh, man.
Pause. I met Oprah when I was 20 years old. It was awesome. I consider Oprah to be my 6 degrees of separation, because when I met Oprah then had her meeting with Michael Jackson, and then she had her meeting with Prince, and then she's had her meetings with everybody, but I met Oprah, and I mean, it was, I'm not even gonna say how many decades ago that was, but it was quite a few, and it was awesome. But you know, we all know she's filthy rich. Giving back to the poor is amazing. Telling the poor to send money to someone who is in need when you have more money than all of us put together, it's kind of weird. But when I met you, it was awesome. In the 90s, yeah, the early 90s. Okay, well, that's telling you how many decades it was. But she was a different Oprah back then. That's all I can say. It was awesome. She hugged me, y'all. And then she hugged Michael Jackson. But then she treated Michael Jackson kind of bad and we all saw it. All right, I'll go back to the video.
Y'all, this is the craziest thing I've heard all week. So a freaking pirate ship just crashed into Brooklyn Bridge. Yes, y'all, Brooklyn Bridge. Isn't that a song? No, that's London Bridge. But nonetheless, what just took place in Kentucky, London, Kentucky as well, now we know the real reason why the National Guard was setting up in Kentucky, because what just took place. Now, as you can see here, this ship is literally running into the bridge, and I don't know if it's the rise of sea level that caused this, because we already know climate change that's happening all over the world. But nonetheless, y'all, there were men on top of this mast, y'all. Check this out. So like I said, I don't know whose idea it was to drive the ship into the bridge, because now you can see the sailors hanging on to the mast for dear life, or what's left of it, y'all. But why isn't nobody doing anything? Nobody's yelling, nobody's saying anything. Like, everybody's just looking on. Like, what is this about, y'all?
Holy crap.
So now, yeah, man, so I don't know what this pirate ship is doing in Brooklyn, but it looks like they were accompanied by the Navy. Here's the ship over here, y'all, cruising to the side of it. So obviously they knew what was, what's going to happen. What is a pirate ship doing in Brooklyn Bridge anyway, y'all? But things are getting weird, just like we told y'all, man. So much happening around the planet, just more distraction. But just like we told y'all, man, the shift is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace out.
So a small plane crashed into a military neighborhood in San Diego, y'all. But I feel like it's something more to this. Let me explain. So they said this crash happened early morning. And y'all, listen to this flight number. Tell me if this is not weird. The flight number was N666DS. So that's not a weird number to y'all? And being as though the fact they said they crashed into a military neighborhood? So they're saying 2 people so far is confirmed unalive, and several others is injured. I just find it highly suspicious and weird that the plane registration was under 666. Y'all know what that comes with. Y'all know the dark symbolism behind that, right? So they said he was one of the people on the plane when it ultimately crashed. This is Daniel Williams. And he was the former drummer for the band Devil Wears Prada. And he just happened to be on a plane that was registered under 666. But wait, y'all, it's more. So they said minutes before impact, this man posted this on his IG. Here we go. That's crazy to me. He was unaware that this would be his last post, y'all. So as officials investigate, they were talking about it could have been because of the dense fog or even power lines. I need y'all thoughts down below on what y'all think happened. Anyway, condolence to him and whoever the other guy was on this plane, and condolences to anybody else who's affected by this tragic incident.
Well, there you go. Another end of the video. Thank you so much for joining me. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications button for my upcoming videos. TSDitto Reacts. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.